Pretty Starfield. I do like this loading screen. It's very pretty. And yet it's No Man's Sky. Probably the most divisive game of the year. Just as a word of warning up front, due to various technical difficulties, not least of which is trying to figure out how to grow a third arm so I can hold the microphone and the gamepad at the same time, the narration for this is being done after I've captured the footage. So I have played the game and now I'm sitting here watching the video, along with you, as I harvest some chrysanite, which is a very pretty colour, and gather more resources and anyway talk over all the gameplay. And we'll cover some of the controversy and everything that's been going on with this game. Anyway, Spongehorn here, No Man's Sky, here we go. So, last Friday I planned to stream this. I woke up with a horrendously sore throat and cough. The cough is partly medication side effects, oh joy. But nothing I could do could get this to stream properly at a level that I was satisfied with. So I wound up, what with the sore throat, I decided I would call it quits and I'd wait until the throat felt a bit better. And then I'd do some narration and some video capping and hopefully talk over the live stream. However, various things come to pass and I thought, well, I want to get this out. I want to get it out. I mean, the game's been out a week. Probably by the time you watch this, the game has been out a week. And I just wanted to get some video online of a game I'm thoroughly enjoying and kind of balance out all the negative stuff I've been reading about this game. The most shameful of which was Computer World, which claimed this game was killing the resurgence in PC gaming. Of course, I believe Computer World is one of those magazines that declares PC gaming is dead every 18 months or so. I linked to an interesting discussion on Twitter with Dino Dini, who, those who are old enough may remember that name. On the Amiga, he wrote Kickoff 2, Player Manager, Goal, and he's got a new game out right now, and he's taking some flack. And it seems to be open season on indie devs lately. And there's all the stuff magazines writing articles saying, don't buy this game, it's bugged, it's terrible, and everything. And yet I don't recall people saying don't buy this game when the awful Assassin's Creed one came out a year or two ago that was completely broken out of the box. Didn't see vehement things saying this is killing PC gaming. It doesn't seem bundling on indie devs is easy because indie devs aren't the bread and butter of the PC gaming journalism industry. I use the word journalism very, very loosely. I have seen some fair coverage of this. One of my favourite journalists is a guy named Victor Lucas who does Electric Playground on YouTube every day, and he gave this game a good review. I also watched him live stream the PS4 version. Anyway, let's talk about the gameplay for a bit. Okay, you just saw me fly around a bit, and now I've landed. When you get these little mystery areas with the question mark, you land, and what can be there can vary. And there's always a little antenna thing you activate, and that saves the game and saves that you've discovered that area. And so I was just scanning around here trying to see what's what. There's one of the sentinels. They are such a pain at times. I've yet to figure out the criteria for alerting them, but when they get alerted, boy do they get cranky and try and kill you. That needed a bypass chip, which I don't yet have. I'm still in my starting system. Off the top of my head, my starting system had 3 planets and 2 moons. I only have 1 planet to visit after this. Then I have to figure out the hyperdrive issue. I have a hyperdrive, but I have no fuel for it, so I have to find antimatter somehow. I'd really like to get out of this and go to another galaxy and pick one with like 6 or 7 planets. I don't know what the maximum is per system. My wife is completely addicted to this game. There we go. Look at me, I knocked. My wife's completely addicted to this game, and she's well ahead of me at the moment. So I'd like to get out and like find my own system instead of the one the game thrust me into. So here's a little example of some of the interaction stuff you get. Did I choose right? I did! I chose correctly. And then you do that, get a bonus multiple choice. Sometimes you can find the answer. There was one my wife had where it said what was the transmission code or something. And it was a combination of numbers, and either at the base of the unit or somewhere nearby it was written down. So she was able to answer that and get the reward. I like that you can harvest the plants and the little base things. That amuses me. So yes, No Man's Sky. I've been told I'm very, very lucky this game works for me at all, but I don't know. I'm thinking the hype behind it not working is kind of suspicious, because there's there was like 3,000, 4,000 negative reviews on Steam on release day. My thought being the people it's working for are too busy playing it, and there were 212,000 at its peak on release day playing this game. And I also noticed that the main people I seem to be having problems with it are people running SLI and like two NVIDIA GTX 980s or whatever. It seems to be the more hardcore your system, the more problems you'd have, because I've run this on, this is running on my new laptop, which is a GTX 960 mobile, 16 gigs of RAM, 2.5 gigahertz, quad-core i7, and as you can see it runs pretty well. I can crank the detail up, and the resolution for that matter, but with the capping I decided to try and keep it simple given the issues I had. Can't get Shadow Play to play nice with it at all, and OBS was being a pain. So I can have it looking better than this, but I mean, as it is, it still looks pretty damn lovely in my opinion. My wife's been playing it on a laptop that's about a year old, running a GTX 860. My 7-year-old son is playing it on a computer, a laptop from 3 years ago. And my best friend back in the UK is playing it on a Frankenstein's monster of a machine, which has parts from like 4 or 5 years ago, and not a single loading problem. There's only been one crash in probably about 40 hours of gameplay, which was my wife. She managed to fall through the world, which is always a funny glitch, and I mean that happens in many open world games. I've seen it happen in GTA, Lord knows how many times. So a lot of criticism aimed at this, though. Of course, before it released, there was a lot of hate for the game. That little thing you saw would go off as my scanner. I'm trying to find a little question mark thing because it's an area I've not been to, and there we go. You hover over it, or you fly over it. You can't hover in flight, unfortunately. And then you have to press a button to initiate the landing sequence and hope it lands somewhere near it. And of course, sometimes you get issues like that where the landing area is not clear, so you have to swing about and try again. But enough about the negativity. Yes, some people had technical problems. When GTA 5 came out, I couldn't run it for a month. And then eventually patches sorted it out, and now it runs great. I don't recall all the magazines going, the sky is falling, PC gaming's dying because a whole bunch of people can't run GTA 5. No, they didn't criticise it at all, and we were basically ignored. If GTA had been an indie game, I have no doubt they'd have been all over it going, oh no, terrible indie release again, etc. Perhaps I'm being cynical, but... Apologies if you can hear me drinking, my throat's still not 100%, but I desperately wanted to get something up online for this. So anyway, enough of the criticism for this game. Let's just talk through what's going on. This is a planet I haven't named. I've named a couple of planets worth of stuff, but I tend to build it up and then name it all in batches. One thing that does annoy me is if you hit the wrong button and upload the data, you don't get the chance to rename it. I accidentally hit the wrong button on my first planet, and it's now stuck with the name it generated, instead of one I gave it. The menus on this are very Destiny-like. I don't know if you've played Destiny. I actually quite like Destiny. It's not great, but it's kind of fun. But the menu format is very much like that, and frankly the menu system in Destiny is one of the best parts about the game. If you look at the UI, now this is me trying to scan a bird. I've yet to figure out how to scan birds successfully in this game, or any flying creature for that matter, because there's other flying ones. So the bottom right is where it gives you all the instructions what you need to do, because it's telling me that's the next task I need to do is activate my hyperdrive. But my hyperdrive, it needs the fuel, I believe. I'm 99% certain I need fuel for my hyperdrive. That's my multi-tool. You can get many different multi-tools in the game with different slots. This one only has a bare bones like 5 slots. See, I did this, I put the bolt caster on because I'd read somewhere on Reddit that the bolt caster would lock on to creatures and make it a lot easier to scan them. But as you can see, things didn't go well. Then there was an incident involving me hitting a wrong button, which you're about to see. Yep, and well, that went well. Then I decided to test to see if you could still mine with this thing or if it was just a weapon, and of course you can't mine with it. So I wound up having to dump it and go back to something else. So I've been on this planet a while now, flying around. I don't particularly like it. It's fairly extreme. It gets very cold. I came to this planet from one that got very, very hot. So as you can see, the snowflake, that's the thermal protection of the suit. You can refresh that with certain parts. I think it's the shield shards, if I recall. And then underneath that is the general Not exactly sure what that is, that heart rate looking thing. Anyway, then you've got the planet name, the current temperature, the rad level, toxicity. If you land on a toxic world, it'll keep track of the toxicity as the main thing, and radioactive world, the rad's the main thing. At the top left, you can see the health bar. It's pretty hard to die in this game. I haven't actually died yet. I've watched a few streams of people playing, and Victor Lucas from EPN died 2 or 3 times. Was it him died or 2 or 3 times? Because I watched Sean Murray of Hello Games play one as well. I think it was Sean Murray died a couple of times. I watched Graham from Loading Ready Run play it for 5-6 hours and never died. Come close to dying. I found this particular hostile jellyfish type thing with many legs that wanted to eat my face, and my health got down. I didn't even notice because I was too busy panicking, going, what can I do, what can I do? And my wife said, you're almost dead, run! So I ran away and survived. That's the closest I've come to dying in the game, which a lot of people go, oh, that's boring, there's no risk. But the thing is, I mean, look at Minecraft. You have survival mode in that, which is fair enough, you can die in that, or you have peaceful mode. Nobody goes, oh, you're playing peaceful mode, why would you do that? We play in peaceful mode if you want a relaxing time. So far, I mean, this game is all about exploration and crafting, and I like it. I mean, I've seen people complaining there's not enough violence in it. Yeah, because every game needs violence. It's lovely to have a game that doesn't involve killing everything. If I want to run around killing things, I'll load GTA, thank you. In this, I only kill stuff if it's trying to kill me, which is very rare. And of course there might be space battles at some point, but I haven't actually had one of them. That's my little starting ship, which I really kind of like because it kind of looks like a bit like an X-wing with the wings folded. It's the DLC ship. It came with pre-ordering the game. So now I'm trying to take off into space. Unfortunately, things went a bit peculiar and I got the angle slightly wrong. And well, you'll see what happens. There we go. Oh dear. So flip back round, there's the sun, and there's the asteroids. Now, if you're playing this game, if you shoot and destroy the asteroids, which is kind of like a first-person version of the arcade game, you get thallium. I think it's thallium, which is good for your engine. Well, you need that for the fuel your engine, so that's very helpful. All these rocks are a big source of fuel. I decided to go have a look at these cargo ships because I haven't gotten that close. Apparently you can attack them and take their cargo, but they get rather upset. I was kind of surprised because I dropped out of pulse jump and I just went to look at it and suddenly lasers incoming. I'm thinking, did I just accidentally? And I thought, hang on, that's not me. And then if you watch, there we go, the ship goes whizzing through. Not quite sure if he was shooting at me or shooting at the container ship, but he never actually came back. I went looking for him but couldn't see him. A lot of people are complaining about the colour of space. Some people are saying it's awesome because space is a different colour and it makes the game much more inviting and interesting instead of the cold, dark blackness of space. I'm ambivalent either way. I couldn't really care whether it's black, pink, blue, or covered in polka dots. So here we come down to the last planet in my system that I haven't visited. From a distance, it's looking pretty bloody horrible. So you come burning in like that. I love the atmosphere burn as you come in. And I decided to scan and see if I can find somewhere interesting to land. Send the scanner out, couldn't find anything. Slow the ship down a little. And then I noticed over there, oh look, a little base. And as I got closer, I noticed it's a proper base with a landing pad and everything. Now, I haven't actually come across one of them in the game yet. So I was rather excited. I thought, let's see if we can land on the landing pad, because a lot of people are complaining it's difficult to land on the landing pad. So try and get the timing right, initiate landing sequence, and look at that, I land straight on the landing pad. Perfection. So we get the details. It's contaminated, it's got regular amount of sentinels, a high amount of flora, and it's lacking in fauna, which is kind of boring. Well, it's easy to scan the plants because they don't, move. I kind of like the animals. I've seen first couple of planets, I didn't see much diversity, and I was thinking the procedural generated creatures were kind of overhyped. And then I went to a third planet, and all fears of the creatures not being that inventive washed away when I saw this thing that can only be described as half strawberry bouncing around, which was absolutely delightful. And another planet I found, I think it was the one we just left, actually. There were these little teddy bear creatures with antlers. They were absolutely adorable. Now this, I kept getting confused because it kept saying inventory full. And I'm still not entirely sure what was going on, because when I went and emptied my inventory, or cleared some space, that is the one bugbear in this game that if you buy it, you're going to get really annoyed with at the beginning, is the lack of inventory space. Apparently they increased it right before release. Dread to think what it was like before. I'm still running out of space regularly, trying to bundle the minerals and plutonium and stuff together in the ship, but it still leaves me without a lot of space. But anyway, we sort the inventory out, and then inexplicably I can talk to that guy, and well, you'll see how that exchange carries on in a minute. And you've got some gnarly looking plants in this planet because, well, it's a contaminated, awful, awful place. I've seen some complaints that the game came out not looking like its E3 2014 trailer. And all I can say to that is, you pull me any trailer from E3 2014 for a game coming out this year or later and show me the trailer compared to now, well, Ubisoft's Watch Dogs springs immediately to mind. The difference is that went from trailer to actual release. Now there was a dog of a game. You can see performance isn't too bad. I've got all the details on low. Can crank them up if I feel so inclined. I've got it capped at 30 frames per second, so please don't think this is maxing out the cap. It was the only way I could get it to sync properly with the encoding. So there we go. I've got one spot left in my ship, so now I have to try and send stuff back. I need to sell stuff. I've no idea what a gra is. I've got Geknip. I've got a fascination bead. Don't know what those are. They sound quite kinky. So there we go, that's sorted. So we decided to go back and visit our friend after I pick up some plutonium. I have plutonium out there, well, you know what. It's used as fuel for pretty much everything, and I have tons of it. So let's go see our Gek friend again. Hello, Gek friend. And now I can talk to him. Now, as we're going on, you find monoliths and stuff that teach you the Gek language. Now, I've learnt like 15 words, but it didn't go very well here. And I decided Ivnox sounded like it could be a word for isotope. So I gave him some isotopes, and he emitted a gas packet, which I thought was nice. And he gave me an extra add-on for my cannon, which was jolly decent of him. And then he goes back to, I don't know, playing Candy Crush on his iPad. I decided to see if I could actually sell him anything after this and get rid of some of my crap, but unfortunately he wasn't really interested. So I have to find another proper merchant. Actually, I'm an idiot because that thing on the wall behind him is a trading terminal and I completely missed it when I was playing. It's really funny because all the people saying it doesn't look as good as it did, and there was one of my first or second planet where you could see the other planet up in space, and as the sun was going down, the planet was rising up, and it just one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in a video game. And I mean, I'm no spring chicken. I've been at this lark for, well, let's put it this way, the first system my dad ever brought home was Pong. Maybe I should do a let's play of Pong. So just got a few minutes. I shall take the time to tell you what my plans are for this channel if I can get a decent situation going. It seems every time I get something sorted, something else happens. My current one is trying to figure out how to hold the microphone. As I say, I need to grow a third arm to hold that and a gamepad. I have many plans for this channel. I want to do more live streaming. I want to do more content. I've come up with some various ideas. One of them is a random game picker. I have 600 games on Steam, most of which are probably fairly terrible. And you can get Steam randomizers that tell you what game you should play, so I figure it would be a laugh to do a live stream or a video of running a Steam randomizer and then playing a random terrible game. I've still got to try and figure out a schedule for live streaming, if I want to do live streaming. I don't know whether, I mean, live streaming's okay and YouTube can automatically archive it, but I like being able to like tag the video at the beginning and end and edit it accordingly, and because I like video editing, I'm a nerd. So I still haven't 100% decided where this channel's going. All I know is I want to get a regular schedule going with updates. And frankly, having tried Twitch streaming and YouTube streaming, I actually prefer YouTube streaming. And of course, it goes straight onto the channel without me having to do anything. The inventory system in this game drives me crazy because it can get very, very frustrating very, very quickly. See, I'm trying to pick up the Thamium. It's a thallium in space, it's Thamium. I'm trying to pick it up and I don't know why, because I thought I had the space, and in the end it's kind of like, just forget it. Not understood the point of those shelter things yet, because they don't protect you from the elements or anything, and there's never anything in them. They're just sort of scenery. Now, if it wasn't so dark, I'd probably adventure around more and see if I could find any more interesting stuff to scan into the database. I've decided to not be a completist with the game and the plant and wildlife and scanning it all, because that would just get so tedious. My first planet, I tried very, very hard. I got to 88% completion, but I was still missing one creature, and I spent hours trying to find it, and in the end I thought, no, this is going to kill any fun in the game. So I thought, no, I'm just going to come to the planets, fly around to the little question marks, land, claim it so I can name it, and then scan the nearby wildlife. And that will hopefully go okay, and it's worked out reasonably well so far, as much as I'd like to be a completist. Now this one, my idea was, okay, it's dark here, let's try and race the sun and get round to the side of the planet where the sun's up. Unfortunately, it doesn't go too well. Excuse me. And so in the end I give up, which is in about a minute or so. So this is Spongehorn. I shall say my farewells now. This is No Man's Sky. If I had to give it a brief review, I'd say it's largely lived up to the hype. Anyone who's expecting what we saw in E3 2014 has clearly not been around the gaming industry for very long. So far, I'd say it's delivered on the hype for me, everything I wanted from the game, and I did try and temper my hype because I remember Spore. And I was almost cancelled my pre-order, but then saw the PS4 folks were having fun, and I thought, well, no, I'll stick with it. And it's a massive hit with me, it's a massive hit with my wife, it's a massive hit with my kids, it's a massive hit with a friend of mine. So, yep, I'd give it 8 out of 10. I like it, and I think it's only going to get better with patches. Now, this is funny, because I think, okay, I've landed. I go to get off the ship. Wait for it. Ooh, that was a long way down. Why was that such a long way down? I decided to scan a few things. I thought I had to fall. Where's my ship? Too busy scanning to occur to me. And then I was kind of, great parking. Anyway, this is Spongehorn. Great to talk to you all. I shall catch you again soon. Bye bye.